I never thought that I would do a competitive Kaalia Razacats deck tech, but here it is, a Mardur reanimated Razakats combo build. So the typical Kaalia shenanigans where she attacks and puts a big demon, angel or dragon into play and she goes stumpy and beats your opponent's faces, that strategy isn't really that good, because it's easy to stop this and you don't kill your opponents that fast. But Kaalia can actually perform a rather common cEDH combo, or well, she doesn't actually perform it, she kinda puts it into play. You see, Razaketh is a big demon, 8 mana demon, that's a lot of mana. But when Kaalia attacks, you can put the demon from your hand into play and attacking. So that's a good trick to get Razaketh into play. And then you have Kaalia in play and you can sacrifice Kaalia to Razaketh to start the tutor engine. The normal way that you do this is that you reanimate the big demon. Either you use a spell like this thing, you could use this creature, you can use necromancy. Necromancy is key in this deck, I'm gonna be showing soon why. Animate Dead is also key in this deck. These two are must have for the combo, I'm gonna showcase pretty soon. And you can also use the normal typical reanimate. That's how Thrasius and Tymna performs this Razakats combo, by the way. They discard or put Razaketh into the graveyard and then reanimate it. But this is where Kaalia of the Vast will differ. Instead of tutoring for a card like Buried Alive to put Razaketh into your grave and then tutoring for Reanimate to bring it into play, you only tutor for the big demon and put it into your hand and then go to combat. So this cat has been hanging around in front of this camera quite a lot currently, and that cat is actually quite key for this combo, and that is why it goes by the name Razakats. Let's actually explain it. So here I have a black enchantment, Animate Dead. It's an aura that you attach to a creature in a graveyard, any creature in any graveyard. So you can steal your opponent's creatures, that's cute, but we're gonna target our own big demon. Let's say that the Razaketh is in our graveyard. So we cast Animate Dead, target this, then Razaketh is in play. We pay 2 life and sacrifice any one of our creatures and we tutor for this cat. We cast the cat, trigger on the stack when the cat enters the battlefield. It exiles an enchantment or artifact. This is supposed to be an interaction against our opponents, but we're gonna use it as a combo. We target Animate Dead. So now Animate Dead is in exile, gone. That means that there's a trigger on the stack to kill the big demon because he lost his Animate Dead. But in response to that, because we're very smart, we use the demon's ability and sacrifice the cat. The cat goes to the grave. That means that Animate Dead re-enters play. And when it does, it can reanimate something from the graveyard. So we reanimate the cat. The cat re-enters and it exiles Animated Dead. There's now a trigger on the stack to kill the cat and kill the demon. In response to this, because we're really smart, we sacrifice the cat to Razaketh and tutor for another card. We've currently tutored for 2 cards. The cat goes away, the enchantment goes back, cat comes back, and it's a loop. So what you basically have here is pay 2 life, tutor for a card. And this is where the deck could go in a lot of different direction. Your actual finish could be pretty much whatever. Now the cat and Animate Dead together are also giving you infinite death triggers, and that's cute, that could be utilized into something. But we need to end this little thing somehow, and depending on what your next step is, you should end this in a different varieties. What I recommend is instead of targeting the cat with Animate Dead, target whatever creature in any graveyard. Let's say Fyndhorn Elf in an opponent's graveyard. And then you can start doing stuff with the cards that you tutored for. So we're gonna grab Necromancy and Blood Artist. Or well, we're not gonna grab Blood Artist anymore. Because instead of grabbing Blood Artist, because we have the colored end of red, we could grab Judith, which is doing close enough to the same thing. Then you need to get some rocks. You need to get a lot of mana rocks to be able to cast this thing. Maybe you need a Dark Ritual or something. And then you cast Necromancy, targeting the cat that's in the graveyard. And now you're going back to that infinite death loop again, where the cat is exiling Necromancy, and then the cat will die because it no longer has the Necromancy on it. When Necromancy comes back, it will reanimate the cat once more, and each time you do this, Judith will trigger to deal 1 damage to any target, and from here you have infinite damage. I really consider Judith a lot stronger than Blood Artist. Her ability is on any target. That means that you can actually interact with your opponent's creatures with her. But she also gives all your creatures +1 attack. That means that she kinda helps with a potential beatdown plan if you have a deck with a lot of creatures, and a lot of really stompy and big creatures should also help out. And we have Kaalia, so we could include some big stompy dragon, angels and demons. Let's take a look at that. But I think it's really important to emphasize that you shouldn't slam in any whatever dragon, demon, angel card inside this deck just because you can synergize them with your commander. You should only look at actual good angel, demons and dragons that could be helpful in the competitive meta. Linvala, Keeper of Silence, is a great example of this. This is a hate bear angel that is actually already seeing play in a lot of different competitive decks because she's actually that good. She has a stacks effect that is actually really relevant that only affects your opponents. You don't destroy your own combo with this angel. This is an angel that we could synergize with Kaalia. It's a great card. You should definitely include this in pretty much every Kaalia deck. Hellkite Tyrant is a little bit outside playability. The 6 mana is quite a lot, but you can trick this into play instantly and attacking with your boss. And stealing all of your opponent's artifact is actually quite decent. This is definitely a card you could consider. This is not a card you should always include, but it's something I might include in this tapped out list I have. In the current state of the game, Septiphrasius is quite explosive and is definitely a thing. This is probably a really common deck you're gonna run into, and this is pretty much a really strong deck. It is one of the strongest decks you can assemble. And Hellkite Tyrant is definitely a card that is gonna not interact with it, but it could throw that deck back to Stone Age. That deck plays a lot of artifact, a lot of really powerful rocks, and if you're able to steal those rocks, then this deck is gonna cry. But here I actually have a good dragon, or well, this is a card that we don't actually aim at having in play, we aim at having it inside a grave, because it's 6 mana wheel. This is instant speed, so you can do this in an opponent's turn, and then during your turn, you have a whole new set of 7 cards in your hand. So that's actually quite good. This is also a good way to discard your hand, to make sure that Razaketh ends in your graveyard. But we're also going to be playing Faithless Looting inside this deck. It's pretty much auto-included because we want to discard the big Egyptian demon to a graveyard. But we could also use the Faithless Looting to get this dragon into our graveyard, so we can do the wheel thingy. Now this demon isn't really that good, but it's definitely a demon that you could consider for your deck. This is a card drawing demon. It's gonna draw something between 1 to 2 cards. You could get lucky and draw maybe 4 cards. Depending on how you build your deck, this demon could draw more things. When Demon Lord Bells and Lock enters the battlefield, exile cards from top of your library until you exile a non-land card. Then put that card into your hand. If a card's converted mana cost is 4 or greater, this process is repeated. Then it will deal 1 damage for you for each card put into your hand this way. You don't take damage from the lands you exile. And the last but biggest, Iona. When this creature enters the battlefield, say a color, and your opponents can't cast spells of the chosen color. This is not affecting you, so you could say black and be unaffected, but you're gonna say blue on this one. So this creature's ability is actually really good. It's a stompy hate bear. And that is also the problem, the stompy part. This creature's mana cost makes it unplayable, but Kaalia could actually do it. She could trick this big angel into play. So let's actually talk stompy ratio. How many of these are we going to actually include? Because remember, plan A is cast your commander, tutor for this thing, and attack and put this into play, sack her and get going. That's what you want to do. Then you want to include a lot of tutors to tutor for the big demon, so that you have access to him, that you have a really consistent deck. tutors makes your deck consistent. But you also want to include some ramp, some rocks to get some more mana, so you can have her in play a little bit quicker. But you also want to include some interaction against your opponents, like Swords to Plowshare, so to make sure that your opponents don't win the game. But you might also want to include some protection to protect this when you're trying to win. So you cast Silence, then you go to combat and you win with your big demon. And the more of this that you include, the weaker your plan A becomes. I actually think that this ratio is fine. 5 cards is something the deck could handle. It's not gonna hurt the deck too much, I believe. I would also like to point out that you actually don't have to have your Kaalia to get Iona into play. Remember that this is a reanimator deck, so we could get this into a grave, which this deck is actually really good at doing, and then use this to bring her into action. In general, angels are hate bears, demons are Kadra, and dragons are explosive. And I definitely think that Wizard of the Coast is gonna be printing more Dragon, Demon, Angel cards. So this deck could definitely grow a lot in power. If they print something that is very similar to Linvala, Keeper of Silence, I think this is pretty much the staple of how you want angels and demons and dragons to look like for your Kaalia deck. You want them to be on a really low CMC cost with a good ability that Kaalia will synergize with. I'm really happy that I actually waited with doing this video. This is a deck tech I've been planning on doing for quite some time, but suddenly it got an upgrade, and I thought it's the perfect timing. The new, smaller Kaalia Seeker is definitely an upgrade, and so is the new demon Vilis. Not long ago I made a video about why Thrasius and Tymna shouldn't see a ban, and Vilis is actually a good example of this, because Vilis is not an upgrade for the TNT Reanimator deck. He is an option. Razaketh is still actually better, and all the other Reanimator targets that deck usually go for are better than this Vilis demon. But Vilis is an upgrade for Kaalia, and also the new Kaalia is also an upgrade. Let's actually talk a little bit about the new Kaalia. When Kaalia Senate Seeker enters the battlefield, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal an angel card, a demon card, and a dragon card from among them and put them into your hand. Put the rest into the bottom of your library in random order. So this is a one-time use 0 to 3 card draw effect. This is not a card I'm gonna include in this deck because of a very simple reason. I am not gonna have enough Dragon Demon Angel cards inside this deck for this card to consistently successfully draw a card. But I would like to mention it anyway, because if Wizard of the Coast keep printing more cards that are gonna be good for Kaalia, that we eventually could make an Angel Demon Dragon tribal deck that is gonna be competitively viable, playable on the competitive power level, then this is a card you could include. Let me put it like this. 3 mana, flying, vigilance, 3/3, draw 1 to 3 cards is actually rather good. Or, well, as long as the cards she actually draws are good, that is. In my opinion, Kaalia of the Vast is a really cool commander, and I really like the color combination of Mardur. I also think that the competitive EDH format could benefit from Mardur getting some upgrades. I definitely think that we need more decks around that aren't playing blue and green. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you like what I do, consider subscribing or even share my videos. Or you can also support me on Patreon.